Morning, grade sixes. Welcome to your daily lesson of mathematics brought to you by WorksheetCloud. I hope you guys are all well and looking forward to today's lesson. A reminder of the email address on your screen, grade6@worksheetcloud.com. Please feel free to send me any queries, questions, feedback, or perhaps there's something you'd like me to cover that I haven't done, and I'll be happy to do that for you. Last lesson we had a look at time. And in particular, we looked at analog and digital time and the differences between the two. And we also had a look at 24-hour time. And today we continue with time with particular reference to timetables. Okay, so quite a handy life skill to have, especially if you catch buses, if you are really keen on watching television programs, or even when you go to the movies, there's a specific timetable for that. So that's what we're going to have a look at today. On either side of your main theme, there's the warm-ups and mental arithmetic questions, and then I've got a brain bender and a finisher for you at the end. So let's get into your warm-up activity first. I need you to tell me the value of each symbol, including the pink question mark at the end. Please remember that this is a challenge, so I'd like you to press pause and work it out. If you don't get it in the first attempt, then try again. And let's try to develop a little bit of grit and resilience, as it's always good to struggle through a problem and get to the right answer on the other side. Okay guys, press pause and let's see how you get on. I'm going to start on the third line. Okay, and I know that the dog is going to be equal to the bone. So if I have a look at the second line, then I can work out that 25 minus 1 is 24. And then if the dog and the bone is equal, 24 divided by 3 is going to give me 8, and 8 equals 8. So therefore the second line is going to be 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 1. Okay? Then I'm going to go down to the fourth line, and I know that 3 is equal to 8 minus 5. So the bowl of dog food is 5. So what plus 5 is going to give me 7, and you're quite correct in saying that the kennel will be equal to 1. And then right at the bottom I input these numbers, and I should know that I do division first. Okay, so 8 divided by 8 is 1, so therefore it's 1 times 5 times 1, and that gives us an answer of 5. Okay, go through that again if you don't understand it or if you have a different answer. But yeah, let's hope that you guys are getting the gist of those activities at the moment. Okay, our mental arithmetic practice for today are the 8 questions on your screen. Again, I encourage you to press pause to really try to think about the concepts that we worked through in previous lessons. Try out the different mental arithmetic, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division exercises and strategies that we've used before, and then press play to see how you get on. Remember, there's no rush. Please remember to check your work, as that's a crucial habit to develop moving forward. And yeah, let's see how you go. Okay, question number 1, 4,231, and I'm adding 5,890, and we've done a few of these now, but it is good to keep them fresh in our mind. And there is your answer, 10,121. Okay, then we've got 56,7 minus 28,18. And it would be a good idea for you to include a 0 as a placeholder so that you knew it was 0 minus 8, and that you could borrow and you could have a number to put that 1 next to. So now you've got 10 minus 8 is 2, 6 minus 1 is 5, decimal in the same place. I can't do 6 minus 8, so I need to borrow again. 16 minus 8 is 8, and 4 minus 2 is 2. So if I check, 2 plus 8 is equal to 10, yes. 5 plus 1 is equal to 6, yes. 8 plus 8 is equal to 16, yes. And 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. So yes, I must be correct. Okay, we have a multiplication sum next, and I'm hoping that you guys have used the compensation method there. If not, no problem. But the reason I say that is because 76 multiplied by 19 can be changed into 76 multiplied by 20. All I need to do there is 76 multiplied by 2, and if I double 76, I get 152. But then I also need to include the 0 for the multiple of 10. Now I've added on an extra group of 76, so I'll take a group of 76 off, and that gives me an answer of 1,444. So the reason I'm hoping you use that method is to avoid doing long column method calculations and also avoiding making careless errors. So go back to those lessons we did right at the beginning of the WorksheetCloud series. Have a look at mental multiplication strategies and go through the compensation method. It can really save you a lot of time and prevent you from making a lot of careless errors. Okay, then a short division, and we're dividing by 4 here. So I'm going to say to you, why not divide by 2, which is 314, okay, and then divide by 2 again, okay, and that's going to give me 157. So all I did there was divide by 2. If you had done this method, you would have said 4 goes into 6 once with 2 carried over, 4 goes into 22 5 times with 2 carried over, and 4 goes into 28 7 times with no remainder. So you can see you get the same answer. So you need to choose which one you prefer, but for me it's easier to divide by 2 and 2 again. Question number 5 is the addition of fractions, and you need to notice that the denominators are different. So we know that if the denominators are different, we need to find the lowest common multiple of 9 and 2, and that will give me 18 as the lowest common denominator. Okay, so 9 times 2 is 18, so I need to multiply the numerator by 2. 2 times 9 is 18, so I need to multiply the numerator by 9. If I add those together, I get the answer of 17 over 18, and that is in its simplified version. Question 26, 23 over 100 as a percentage. So we should remember that percentage is out of 100. So 23 out of 100 is 23%. Okay. 0.98 times 10. We know that if a number is multiplied by 10, it gets one place bigger. Okay, so that means that 9, which is currently 9/10, becomes a unit. So it moves up one place to the units. And 8, which is 8/100, becomes a tenth, and that moves up one place, and your answer is 9,8. And then your last question, 3 plus 2 times 5, we need to identify that we do the multiplication first. So 2 times 5 is 10, add the 3, and we get 13. Okay, I hope these daily practices are beneficial for you. And I hope you guys are remembering those past taught principles. Okay, let's get back into our main theme for today, which is time. So timetables are often used to show transport schedules, all transport schedules, okay, buses, trains, planes, they all operate on timetables. So it's important to be able to read timetables as they have the information we need to plan journeys. So you read a timetable vertically, so you can see they've got the destinations on the left, Geraldine, Port Lees, Shelley Cove, Albertson, and Benlin. Then they've got bus 1. So bus 1 will leave Geraldine at 9, arrive at Port Lees at 10:15, arrive at Shelley Cove at 11, Albertson 2:45, Benlin 10 past 2. Notice the timetable is in 24-hour time. If it wasn't in 24-hour time, there might be a bit of confusion between morning and night, and also writing it in 24-hour time avoids the need of having to use AM and PM, which could take up too much space and be time consuming. So there are a few questions on the right-hand side of that timetable, 7 questions to be exact. I'd like you guys to work through those questions and again take your time, check your answers. Remember that there's 60 minutes in an hour, and then press play to see how you get on, and I'm going to go work through them on the Google Jamboard for you. But press pause and off you go. Question number 1 says, how long does it take to get from Geraldine to Shelley Cove? Okay, so we can see that a bus leaves Geraldine at 9, and I'll circle the 9 o'clock departure time. It arrives at Shelley Cove at 11, so we know that from 9 to 11 is going to give me 2 hours. Okay, and HRS is the abbreviation for hours. Second question, how long does it take to get from Shelley Cove to Benlin? Okay, so if we go look at Shelley Cove, it's 11 a.m., arrives at Benlin at 10 past 2, so from 11 a.m. to 10 past 2, it's quite a long bus journey. First decide how many hours it is from 11 to 2 o'clock, so from 11 to 14 is 3 hours, and we need to include the 10 minutes. Okay? Question number 3, how often does the bus leave from Geraldine? And you can see that bus 1 leaves from Geraldine. Okay? Bus 2 leaves from Geraldine, bus 3 leaves from Geraldine, and bus 4 leaves from Geraldine. Okay, so the bus leaves 4 times from Geraldine. Okay, great. Let's clean some space. Question number 4, how often does the bus arrive in Benlin? Okay, so if we have a look again, at Benlin, you've got 3 times of arrival, so that means the bus arrives 3 times in Benlin. Okay? The next question, if I was leaving from Geraldine, and I needed to get to Albertson by 2 p.m., which bus should I catch? So let's have a look. Albertson arrivals are 1:45, 2:45, 3:45. If I need to be there by 2 p.m., the only time there before 2 p.m. is 1:45, 13:45. So that means I need to take the 9 o'clock in the morning bus. Okay. Question 6. If I was leaving from Shelley Cove and I needed to be in Benlin by 4:30 or 4:30 p.m., which bus should I catch? So let's have a look at Benlin. Benlin arrivals are 10 past 2, 10 past 3, and 10 past 6. Now I need to be in Benlin by 4:30. Now you could argue and say that you can get there at 10 past 2 or 10 past 3. But let's be honest, we don't want to be getting to Benlin at 10 past 2 and waiting for 2 hours and 20 minutes. So we would rather get to Benlin from Shelley Cove at 10 past 3, and that means we need to leave Shelley Cove at 12 p.m., which is going to be midday. Okay? Your last question, how long does the entire journey from Geraldine to Benlin take? So if we have a look at the time of departure, we've got 9 a.m. and it arrives at Benlin at 10 past 2. So how long is that? Well, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. is 5 hours. And then we need to add on the 10 minutes. So it's 5 hours and 10 minutes. Okay? The next timetable that we work through is a television timetable. Okay? So this obviously details the schedule of the programs on a particular channel. And this also works with the concept that there's 60 minutes in an hour. So what I need you to do is work through those 3 questions and then press play to see how you guys get on. First question, what is the shortest program? So we need to go work that out. So if your cartoons start at 10 past 5 and end at 6, that means your cartoons are 50 minutes long. If your comedy starts at 6 and ends at 6:30, that means your comedy is 30 minutes long. If your news starts at 6:30 and ends at 7:30, that means your news is 60 minutes long. And then if your your documentary starts at 7:30, 19:30, and ends at 9:15, you know that that is 75 minutes long, which is also 1 hour and 15 minutes. And then your film is 9:15 to 11:15. So I would work out 15 minutes until 9 o'clock, 2 hours until 11, and then another 15 minutes. That's going to be 2.5 hours, and that's 150 minutes. Remember that there's 60 minutes in an hour, so that's going to be 2 hours and 30 minutes. Okay? All right, so now we can see which is the shortest program, and your shortest program is going to be the comedy, which is 30 minutes long. Now it's useful working out the length of each program, because the second question says, I am setting up my DVD-R to record the documentary. How long should I record for? So now we've already worked out the length of the documentary. We worked out that it's 75 minutes, an hour and 15. So straight away we know our answer. We need to set it for 75 minutes or 1 hour and 15 minutes. They're equivalent, so it shouldn't matter what you answer in. You can answer in minutes or you can answer in hours and minutes. Sometimes they will put in the question that you need to answer in hours and minutes or minutes. So just make sure you read the question carefully. Your last question on this one, how much longer is the film than the documentary? So we know the documentary is 75 minutes. We know the film is 150 minutes. So how much longer is the film? Well, 150 subtract 75 is going to give me 75 minutes. So the film is 75 minutes longer than the documentary, or the film is double the length of the documentary. Okay, great. Here's another set of timetables, and these ones are a little bit more detailed. Okay, there's a lot more timing. There's a morning section, an afternoon section. There's a Monday to Friday timetable on the left. Then the timetable differs slightly on Saturday, and that's what really happens in real life timetables. There's a morning and afternoon, as I said. And then they've also included bus fares, but notice that the bus fare is for one way only. Okay, so sometimes you can buy a return ticket, but for this question, it is one way only. Okay, go work out those questions on the right-hand side. Again, there's 7 of them. Press pause and then press play to see how you get on. Something that's important to point out here is that these timetables go horizontally. Okay, so you can see that in the morning, the first bus leaves City Hall at 9 a.m. And then it arrives at Harris Avenue at 2 minutes past 9, at York Street at 7 minutes past 9, at Holt Street at 10 minutes past 9, and then at the museum at 17 minutes past 9. Okay, so that is how this timetable works. So let's go have a look at the questions. First one, which bus does Iqbal need to catch on Thursday from City Hall to be at York Street at 9:52 a.m.? Okay, so if we have a look at the timetable, and we have a look, there's 9:52 a.m. at York Street, so that means she needs to leave at 9:45 a.m. Okay, so your first answer, 9:45 a.m. All right. Second question, Ali wants to be at the museum at 22 minutes past 12 on Saturday. Okay, so let's bring the Saturday timetable over. What time does she need to leave, or what time does she need to catch the bus at Harris Avenue? Right, so let's have a look. She wants to be at the museum at 12:22, which is now circled. That means she needs to leave Harris Avenue at 7 minutes past 12. So this answer, 12:07. Okay. Third question. Lauren traveled from York Street to the museum. How much change would she get from a 10 Rand note? Okay, so we need to have a look. From York Street to the museum is one stop and then a second stop. So there are two stops involved. So that means that she will have to pay R4.90. Okay, so that's going to be R4.90. Remember, there are always two numbers after the decimal when dealing with money. Okay, but my answer is not finished there because they wanted to know how much change I would get from a 10 Rand note. So if I paid 10 Rand, it cost me R4.90. The change I'm going to get is 10 Rand minus R4.90. And yes, that's going to give us R5.10. So two parts to that question. Okay? Okay, so Zach wants to travel from City Hall to Holt Street on Saturday morning. If he catches the 9:40 a.m. bus, all right, so let's highlight that bus. There it is there, the 9:40 a.m. bus. How long will the trip be? So he needs to go from City Hall to Holt Street. So there's the stop at Holt Street, and you can see it's 9:40 to 9:50. So it will be a 10-minute journey. All right. The next question. Min travels from City Hall to Harris Avenue, where he stops for lunch. Next, he travels from Harris Avenue to the museum. How much has he spent on the bus fare? Okay. So first he goes from City Hall to Harris Avenue, which is one stop. So that means that is R3.60. All right. Next, he travels from Harris Avenue to the museum. Okay. And that is an additional 3 stops. All right. So if we have a look, if I draw it in, he's at Harris Avenue, then he goes one stop to York, another stop to Holt, and then another stop to museum. That's 3 stops, so that's R5.50. And if we add those together, we're going to get R9.10. Okay, cool. So that's a bus timetable question. I hope you guys were able to read off that timetable. Just notice the difference in timetables that we've done during this lesson. Go back over the lesson and feel free to send me any questions or queries should you have any. Guys, here's your brain bender for the day. We haven't had one of these for a while. So you know it's a multiplication table. You need to figure out the value of the symbols and then press play to see how you got on. Okay, so I've filled in the values that are on the table already. You can start in a few different places. I can say 8 multiplied by 7 gives me 56. Okay. I can also see that the two pieces of cake are equivalent. So what number multiplied by itself gives me 144? And yes, that's going to be 12 times 12. Okay, now I can say 8 times 12, and that gives me 96. Okay, I can now go 12 times 7. This 12 times 7. Okay, that's going to give me 84 for the candy floss. Okay, what over here multiplied by 12 is going to give me 24, and that's going to be 2. Then I know that 2 multiplied by 4 gives me this 8. And then I've got 8 multiplied by 4 to give me 32. 12 multiplied by 4 to give me 48. And 2 multiplied by 7 to give me 14 in the middle. Okay? Right, your last thing for today is the game of 24, and we're progressing nicely through the levels. So by now you should know that you need to use the numbers on each card. So for example, on the first card you've got 2, 6, 4 and 7. Use those 4 numbers and a combination of plus, minus, multiply and divide to get you to the answer of 24, and see how many different ways you can come up with the answer of 24. Grade 6s, thanks very much for joining me today. I hope you guys learned a little bit, or at least revised some past principles. There's a really cool online activity that I've put on the WorksheetCloud.com website. The memo is there for you as well, and it's got a few timetables on it. So by the time you finish doing that worksheet, I'm pretty sure that timetables will be secure in your knowledge. Please feel free to use that email address that's displayed throughout the presentation. A reminder of all the previous lessons we've done over the last 7 or 8 weeks, all the online activities and memos. Really take hold of the opportunity we're giving you to stay on top of your education, and I'm hoping that you guys have the opportunity of getting back to school soon. Keep safe, all the best, and see you next time. Cheers.